Fuck you, Craig.
Shut up, Craig.
Krieg. Welcome back, Krieg. So, welcome back to the session, folks. Last time, y'all went down into the Broken Hills and had stumbled upon Bruce's family camp, where you chatted with them for a little bit, and Bruce went and talked to one of his old mentors, a swordsmith, in this tent city, really. And there, Harlow was attacked by his brother. Long lost, thought to be maybe dead, really didn't know anything about him. But he's back and tried to kill you all. However, you kicked the ever-loving shit out of him.
Yeah, we did.
With him managing to kill Harlow once, and then Harlow to die a couple more times.
Not on purpose.
Yep, it was his own fault, 'cause he,
I mean,
John, no,
maybe
I don't think.
because John
Well-
doesn't read spell descriptions.
Wait, what?
I said you don't read spell descriptions.
Oh, I don't. I know. What I do is I read the beginning of it, then I stop.
Yeah. First
Yeah.
3 words I didn't know.
yeah, especially if you're going to be playing as Flanked when I'm not available, you need to read the full thing.
No, for you, I read the full thing.
Okay.
For Harlow, he does the opposite.
Yes.
And that's kind of where we ended. The crowd gathered around you guys after you managed to defeat Harlow. Sorry, if you mean
Harlow.
Arlo.
Carlo.
Harlow did die a couple times, so
Carlo did that a couple times. So you guys managed to defeat Carlo. The whole essentially Minotaur tribe seemed to gather around you. And Bruce's dad, Scott, said, "What's going on here?" And that's where we'll begin.
Harlow immediately, once he's done, rapping Harlow immediately comes up to Scott, takes the glaive, draws a line in the sand right in front of his feet,
Okay.
and goes, "You have 5 seconds till I cross this line to explain why is he here. And what did you do to my brother?"
At which point, Flanked kind of steps in, grabs Scott by the shoulder, and starts pulling him away and saying, Let's go over here and talk for a minute, buddy.
we're pulling Scott away and not Harlow.
Correct.
Okay. Harlow, are you interceding at all?
Harlow's not moving. He drew the line and you try to cross it. You deal with me.
Okay. So Flame, he goes with you. You step about 5 feet away. The crowd pulls back, giving you plenty of space to discuss what you will. Probably mostly unheard.
Harlow is using his perception to hear it, though.
Okay.
It's a
I mean, you're
dull
only 5 feet away. Your natural perception is 22.
Yeah, and it's also elephant hearing, so.
Exactly. You have advantage on me.
So before that
Don't-
before the talking starts, Bruce walks up to Harlow and says, "Let's go pay our respects to your brother and give him a proper burial." And
Harlow
starts walking
goes-
away.
Harlow agrees and goes, "We're not burying him here. We need to take him to the tree."
Okay, well, let's prep him and get a cart or something to carry him.
Harlow agrees and starts going to find a cart. But he does not erase that line. He left it there in the sand. And then makes one final look at Scott, just making eye contact, and then walks away.
Okay. Scott, in the meantime, is talking with you, Flame.
Yes.
What are you saying to him?
So I want
would-
to draw a bit of a picture for you for a moment, if I will, or if I could.
Mhm.
Flanked, he is a tiefling, right? So he has his horns. He does have that devilish charm, that smile on his face that's just you're gonna tell me what you know, and you can't do anything about it. And he's asking Scott about what he may know about Carlo, what he may know about anything that has happened with the past, or like Carlo's tribe's past, anything that he may know about essentially just the things that have happened in the Broken Lands within the last like 15 years.
Okay. I'm sorry. Could you repeat that? My brain just completely did not. Repeat that last part because my brain started just farted.
It's okay. With kind of a devilish smirk on his face, he's asking Scott to explain to him everything that he knows about Carlo and Harlow's like family and everything that's happened in the Broken Lands in the last 15 years in an expedited manner. He is going to be trying to do I have subtle casting? No, I don't. Damn, that was going to be the next one of the next things I picked up.
Can I just say, Delta would like to be just like a little bit away from flanked, but like close enough to hop in should anything go sideways.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. That's fine. Flint, I'm gonna have you make a
Persuasion?
Yeah, straight persuasion. Because I don't have roll 20 pulled up right now, so hold off on telling me that number.
Sure. I haven't rolled it
But
yet.
yeah, so I would say that because he doesn't really know you, but that's a negative point in your direction. But it is also like what's your passive perception?
My passive perception is only a 12.
Okay. I'd say with a 12, he looks a little bit standoffish to you. You're not sure why.
I mean,
he looks different from the conversation you had with him earlier,
right?
like emotionally, but you can't really tell why with just 12.
Sure.
The DC for your persuasion check is going to be 25.
Well, I need to do a quick addition to my roll.
Okay.
Hold on, let me double check to make sure. That's fail a saving throw or miss with an attack roll.
Are you looking at Favor of the Gods? I believe it counts for skill checks too.
And it just says saving throw or attack roll. You can roll 2d4. There is another one I have though, because I rolled a 23.
Okay.
But I know I have something. Give me one moment. It's this one, isn't it? Ah, yes. Magical guidance. I'm going to use my use one sorcery point to use magical guidance to re-roll the d20.
Okay, can you do that after the result of the roll is known?
When you make an ability check that fails.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Re-roll that then.
That's a natural 20.
Ooh.
Okay.
That adds a full 10 to your roll. Jesus Christ.
13.
So what is that?
That was a 33.
33. Jesus Christ.
It was a 35 now.
You OP bitch. Like, you OP motherfucker.
Not really.
Okay. 13? You're level 10. You're level
Flint is just charming.
Yeah, no
Flint
shit.
has that charm.
How is someone who was raised in a bayou charming? I'm sorry. That's just my...
I'm sorry, have you ever watched the Crocodile Hunters?
Okay, fair. But all I imagine is the scene
He's
from
got-
Family Guy where Kermit's in the bayou going, "Hey, do you know where I'm supposed to go? Back where you came from."
He's got that grungy charm.
Yeah. So, Flame, with a 33, he is going to give you the overview of what he knows. about Carlo and the history of the Broken Hills. He's going to give you a condensed version. It takes about 10 minutes for him to convey this, which is a condensed version because there's quite a bit.
Yes.
But with a 33, you can tell he's being completely open and honest with you. He does not appear to know why Carlo is here. Does not remember him coming into the camp. It's kind of thrown off by him being here at all.
Okay. Flint then kind of.
Let me give you that history real quick. So, with a 33, the long history of the Broken Hills that he condenses for you is that at one point in time, this was a vibrant and lush land full of wandering tribes of all kinds: Minotaurs, Loxodons,
Centaurs.
Yeah, Centaurs, Aarakocras, basically
Same
any
thing
kind
with Tribe
of
Arizona.
almost like bestial species, bestial humanoid species lived here.
And I believe we talked about there was it's unknown if that pack of Leonins
Mhm.
is still up at the corner coastline. I don't remember if we talked about them being still there or if it was unknown.
I think it's
Okay.
You'd have to figure that out. But at some point, something happened and proceeded to wipe this area of the world clean. Everything turned to dust and sand, and I mean, there's nothing can live around here. There are no the trees that you can see around you, because there are trees, are the white bleached bones of trees. They are dead. They have been long dead. They managed to stand for some reason, but they were completely and totally dead. The only animals that live around here anymore are this wandering tribe of Minotaurs, the Loxodons who live in the oasis of the Mother Tree, and monsters who seem to be able to dig down to reach water or other kind of sustenance. The history gives you about Carlo is that, as far as he knows, he was the son of Cairo, who is Harlow's father, and at one point did something bad. He doesn't really know all the details, but was banished from the tribe.
Okay. So that information we'd probably have to get from Harlow himself, or ask around if anyone else knows the specifics of what happened there.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So after getting that nice explanation from him, Flint kind of attempts to throw his arm around Scott's shoulder and give him that kind of. I said attempts.
Okay.
He kind of attempts to like put his hand on like his shoulder and be like, "See, buddy, that I knew I'd like you." He kind of gives him a soft punch on his other arm and says, "Now, just fair warning, Harlow is in a very sensitive state right now. Maybe don't try to just approach him in a bullheaded manner like you did. No pun intended."
Racist.
He gives you a kind of knowing nod and returns to the line. He does draw his axe and place it before him, axe head down, holding onto the handle like a walking stick almost. And he's basically just taking a stance there, fairly peaceful looking, waiting for Harlow to return from looking for his cart.
You said on the line?
But no, behind the line. Like he's approached the line. He's standing where he was before, but facing it this time. Harlow, you're looking for a cart. Investigation check.
I feel like it's more of Bruce doing the investigating, where Harlow is literally just holding his brother.
Okay, Bruce, investigation check with advantage. You're very familiar with the the way the camp is laid out.
Perfect. Give me a second. The one thing I didn't have open.
Once we find a cart and he's on the cart, Harlow's gonna look for a tree.
Okay, there are several trees around, but they are, of course, white and bleached with the sun. They are all dead.
That's a 22.
22. Yeah, find one very easily. It's pulled by a mule, and it's big enough. It's pretty small. You could probably fit Carlo's body in it and nothing else.
We place Carlo into it. Harlow goes up to the nearest tree
Mm-hmm.
and just punches it.
Okay, make an attack roll for me. An unarmed strike.
That's an 18.
18 hits, roll damage for your unarmed strike.
Do I not have an unarmed strike on my?
You might not. It's if you it's basically 1 plus strength, I think.
1 plus strength?
Yeah.
Oh, my strength modifier?
Yeah, strength
That
modifier.
would be a 3.
Okay. 3 points of damage. The tree shakes, and you hear a little bit of a creak and crack. Does not fall down, but your hand hurts.
Harlow is just like, those like scenes of the movie. He's just like does not understand and just continues just hitting this tree.
Okay.
And then realizes that it's not working. And you said it's a pretty dead tree, right?
I mean, as every tree around here is, except for the mother tree, it is completely dead and dry.
Harlow rips the tree out of the ground.
Strength check.
15.
You reach around it and try to pull. And you pull and pull. It starts to move. You can make another one if you want to fully rip it out of the ground.
Seven.
It's not moving. It is putting up more effort than you expected from a dead tree. For some reason, the roots seem to be pretty strong.
So Bruce comes up, pats him or put his arms on his shoulder and says, "Here, this is how you do it." Oh wow, no, that's not how I do it. Oh wait, that's save.
You did a strength save. I was like, how do you have a 9? Holy shit!
Okay,
That
a real
is how
strength
you
check.
do it.
That's a 22. Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Fucking
Bruce,
hell.
you rip it out completely and totally. It
And I
is.
proceed to hand it to him afterwards.
Harlow just looks at you and goes, go ahead and put it back.
I like the both of you to make. I like the both of you to make perception checks real quick for me. Sorry, Meg, what were you saying?
The point of it was to, like, get rid of some tension by pulling the tree out, and Bruce just.
You just mansplained
yeah.
tree pulling.
Yeah, I'll do it for you.
He totally mansplained it. He goes, "Oh, you loosened it for me." I got a 25.
25, Bruce, what'd you get?
Oh, for perception?
Yeah.
You also need a strength check to gently put it back into the ground.
No, you can put it back easily. It's
Perception.
Puts it back and it's just slightly angled.
22.
Dang!
22.
I know.
Both of you are Harlow, do you assist him in putting it back? Or is he doing it himself?
No, Harlow just kind of stands there and just goes, I guess just put it back. And I'm just imagining Bruce just going, okay, and just like throwing the tree behind him.
Not quite. Bruce, you walk back over and put the tree down. Put it back in the hole. As you do, because you're the one who's doing it, you notice something before Harlow does. Harlow, you notice it momentarily after Bruce.
Okay.
But the roots of this tree that have been covered in dirt and hard patch clay and sand for ages is stained. Tremendously stained. The rest of this tree is white, bleached white with sunlight. There are no leaves, there is nothing, it is brittle and cracked. The roots beneath the tree are not. They are twisted, misshapen, stained with black, rot, and green.
Retro.
So Harlow, so is it back in the ground yet, or do we still have it?
You still have it. I mean, it's removed from the ground. You're replacing it. It's kind of just like it doesn't actually matter.
Harlow looks at Bruce and goes, are you comfortable carrying this for a second?
Yes.
And goes, okay, so turns around, heads back to the cart, brings the cart back to where everybody was, where now Carlo is wrapped up in the cloth and fabric, and Bruce is carrying a tree on his shoulder.
Does Valen see this?
You see him carrying a tree.
I feel like someone needs to do like an acrobatics check to like dodge the tree.
No, because it's like people. It's a fucking tree, John.
Okay, how big is the tree, by the way?
Yeah, but it's like the cartoon scene. We're like, hey, Bruce, and someone turns with a giant, like, 2x4.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it's not that. Because it's a small tree.
Right.
It's not that tall. That's why you're able to rip it up from the ground.
Darn, I'm hoping that was more impressive.
So,
you guys can roll perception checks if you want to try to investigation to see if you want to see what the fuck Bruce is carrying.
Sure.
Harlow goes back to the line, a little more calm now, and then ask Bruce to like place the tree like upside down so the roots are sticking up, like next to Harlow.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, I rolled a 9 in perception.
9. It is a tree.
Can't help but notice you're carrying a tree.
No.
Flame's got a 6.
I got a 6.
Flame thinks it's the mother tree.
No, I feel like that would be like if it was a 1.
Flame thinks it's a tree. Flame knows it's a tree, but he does not know it's a dead tree. And because you love nature, you're a little bit upset by it.
Yeah.
Okay, Bruce turns to Valen and goes, you mean this twig?
Valen just stares at him.
Okay.
So,
bitch.
Harlow looks at Scott and goes, why was he here?
Scott at this time is kind of looking down towards his axe. Both hands are resting on the end of the handle. And he looks up at you and says, honestly, I don't know. I didn't realize he was here. We had heard he was wandering around. We know he was banished long ago. I don't know why he was in my camp. I didn't know.
Those scars would not dare was he a captive here? Was
He
someone
chuckled-
in your camp holding him captive?
He chuckles a little bit and says, "We do not take captives. We barely have enough for ourselves. We cannot hold anyone with us."
And Bruce had brothers, right? This
Yeah.
wouldn't be like something that like the brothers would do, right?
Bruce, did you have brothers?
I think we met one of them.
Yeah, we met. I think there were like 2 or 3 of them, and they all like gave Bruce a hard time when he came back.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like their names are Ed, and Eddie.
I hate you. You bastard. Okay. Oh. Oh my god.
One of them has no chin.
No. No.
It just goes,
Is that-
buttered
no.
toast.
And is always
Okay,
looking for a chicken.
Yep.
Yes.
So, you were asking if his brothers would have kept as a prisoner?
I think Harlow's just kind of thinking that a second,
Okay.
but like I don't know if he says it.
Okay.
But I'm just like, the scars and how his ears were torn really concerns Harlow. But
I mean, how long has it been since Carlo was banished?
how long has this campaign or this journey for everyone has been going on, Ian? How long would you say?
This journey, let me do some math real quick here.
I thought like a year.
Yeah, it's been about a year because obviously the breadth of the country is so long and so wide. It takes it takes up a lot of your time.
So
yeah, it's been about a year.
for
It's
that,
been a year
then-
since you left your family.
mm-hmm. So it's been about a year and a half since Carlo was banished. So it wasn't long after Carlo was banished that Harlow had to start his journey.
Mhm.
But when Carlo left, he didn't have those scars. But now Harlow... Is there a way Harlow can do an insight check on a dead body?
You can do a medicine check if you're trying to determine about like what his.
Harlow is trying to wonder to see if those were self-inflicted.
Yeah, you can do a medicine check.
How I got these scars.
Do I have anything to
Medicine.
medicine-wise to help me? Harlow looks at Flanked and goes, Flanked, how good is your medicine handling?
It's he kind of flexes a little bit and says, I mean, I'm pretty well practiced. Not as good as I am with persuading people, of course, but
Harlow looks at Flanked and uses enhance ability.
Mm.
which so for that it would be
Wisdom based.
wisdom based. So Owl's wisdom. So advantage on any wisdom checks.
Which medicine is a wisdom check?
Yes.
You
And goes, Flank, can you go look at the body to see if any of those scars and markings were self-inflicted?
Sure thing. Flank looks at Bruce and says, "Take me
And
to the body, of course."
Mm-hmm. And also gives him guidance too.
Okay.
Well, Harlow is still at the line with Scott.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
I'll let Flank do that real quick.
Sure.
It's 2d4 for guidance.
1d4.
1d4. Okay, so 23 on medicine check to see if those were self-inflicted or not.
Okay. It takes you a while to examine all the scars and damage on Carlo's body. It's pretty easy to determine what's recent, what's old. Most of it, again, is old. And fairly well healed. We say with a 22. 23. Yeah, there's a couple that seem to be potentially self-inflicted, but nothing like horrific.
What about the ears specifically? Because they were no longer like the giant elephant like flaps of ears. You said it was just like shredded fabric.
Yeah, that's really hard to tell. You cannot tell if he did that himself or
something got him.
You can make an insight. Yeah, I mean, with the medicine, you could maybe tell that with a 23, definitely plenty of claw marks and bite marks and gouges and chunks of flesh torn from his body by monsters with teeth. Hard to tell in the ears because they are so significantly damaged.
So, of all the things that Scott had mentioned to Flank that used to live in this area, was there anything that could have potentially done this? Like, is there any one specific thing that could have done this, or is this just a plethora of a couple of different animals?
There's nothing that he mentioned that used to live here when it was a thriving land. Because that's well before his time.
Right.
He did not go in depth about the current monsters that live in this area. But you'd be able to tell with the 23 that there's several different
encounters.
Yeah, several different encounters.
Okay, so then I would return with this information to Harlow, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Harlow nods and says thank you to Flank and goes and looks at Scott back and again goes, in this moment, I am working hard to trust someone my family told me not to believe. So far, your family has been kind to me. And I look at Bruce and I'm like, and I have gained trust with him.
Bruce raised the twig.
So Harlow, trying not to laugh at that, goes, because I have trust with him, I am trusting your word on this, that he was not here joined with you or here against his will. But if it turns out that he was here for a reason that you are not stating, there will be a problem.
Scott steps up to the line like literally toe to toe on the line.
Harlow steps right back up to it.
Okay. He sticks out his arm over the line and looks at you.
I don't think with how close they are, they're literally like they could kiss.
Okay. So since he since they're that close, so if you're getting that close to him, he reaches out his arm and grabs your arm and doesn't give you a handshake, but he clasps his hand around your forearm.
And Harlow returns the same grip.
Okay. Says, upon my word, as chieftain of this tribe, I stake my life on the fact that he was not here against his will, at least to my knowledge.
Harlow agrees to that and says thank you. Now, the second thing we are coming back to talk about, as I look to Bruce and go, put down the tree.
Bruce puts down the tree.
And Harlow just points at the roots.
As Harlow points at the roots, the rest of you see the dark stained wood that has streaks of green and black rot covering it.
Oh shit.
This is what is destroyed the Broken Hills. This is what has taken away the vast fields and valleys that we have had. It is not a war between us. Both of us have been misled. We both blamed each other and our families about what happened to these fields. We are seeing this not only here, but across this country. We need to get to the mother tree.
Scott examines the roots of the tree. And says, "This is not what I do not understand. This is not something I have ever focused my mind onto. But for you, it is important.
From what we understand,
you must go."
Harlow and goes, from what we understand, we know this disease known as blight. And would Scott know about know of the other trees?
No.
Okay.
More than likely not. He knows about this mother tree. I mean, it really is kind of a thing that your tribe knew and no one else did. As far as
Harlow goes, there are other mother trees. Their family is being destroyed by this. They are working together with the little magic they have left to hold something back. We believe a demon.
When Harlow says little magic, he kind of scoffs a little bit.
okay.
Flint scoffs a little bit because we all know that it's not a little magic.
Mhm.
But comparative to what their full might is, yes, it is drastically smaller, obviously.
Mhm.
We don't have much time. If this comes down to an all-out war, I need you on my side. I need you on our side. will you help us bring peace and life back to the hills?
Harlow, make a persuasion check for me.
So I also have a feat called Diplomat.
Okay.
So I have proficiency in persuasion skill.
Mm-hmm.
So if I spend 1 minute talking to someone who can understand what I say,
Mm-hmm.
I can make a persuasion check contested by their creature's wisdom.
Okay.
If you or your companions are fighting the creature, your check automatically fails. If your check succeeds, the target is charmed by you as long as it remains 60 feet of you. But I'm not trying to charm it. I'm more looking at it like as almost like an advantage situation.
Yeah, I would say I will give you advantage on that instead of, yeah, I'll give you advantage on that.
Yeah, because again, I'm not trying to charm him. I'm saying, look, shit's hitting the fan.
I think that's a good way to use it out of combat.
Yeah, I feel like charm is kind of weird in 5e anyway.
That is a 14.
Okay. DC for that was 12.
Oh, good, because the other one I rolled was a 13.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I mean, you still would have
beat it, just only by 1. So a little bit more.
I just want to point out, John rolled a natural 3 there. Y'all want to point at me and say, hey, this motherfucker has a 13 in persuasion, but nobody's talking about how Harlow has an 11 in persuasion.
So,
I mean, Rocco rolled it.
You forget when we started off, Harlow had a -1 to charisma.
He did.
And now I have a modified. I have a +3 modifier.
Mm-hmm. You ridiculous little girl.
Because you let me kept reading.
Yes, I let you read the book.
Charisma for Dummies.
Mm-hmm.
And for Harlow, it's working.
Yeah,
he's like, as he's talking, you just see slightly, like the book just staring out of his like pocket.
You spend like 6 months reading a book, you're gonna learn something from it typically.
It was more of him trying to talk to the pirates on the boat.
Mm-hmm. You guys, as you finish saying that to Scott, he moves his hand to your shoulder and gives it a quick squeeze and twirls around and starts barking orders. The minotaurs around him fly into action without any kind of question. They're not questioning his actions at all. Begin breaking down the tents. It is done so fast. Within 20 minutes, the camp is completely broken down, and there is very little evidence of a camp ever having been there. This group is incredibly skilled at hiding where they are, and they are ready to move with you towards your home, Harlow.
So I feel like once they all get packed up, that's when Harlow says, let's move.
Okay.
And Delta will hop down from wherever she was perched and follow.
Okay.
As well as Valen.
Oh, I just realized, is him not playing today?
No, Tim is not playing today. He sent a message in the group chat.
Oh, I must have missed that. Tim, we miss you.
Tim, hi.
Hi, Tim.
I get Tim's free pass.
No, you don't.
God damn it, Meg.
Pell is just the entire conversation. Pell's just standing there smoking a cigar,
as he does.
As he does.
I feel like Harlow like gestures over to like Delta to do like the child like sitting on the shoulders pose with Harlow again.
As you guys leave camp and the camp is broken, you can do that.
Okay. I just want to hang on, Ian. I've got to message you about something. Hang on.
Uh-oh.
If
Okay.
Message me.
because Penny told me something heinous and
Oh no.
um
Oh.
Oh yes.
so
You gotta
Who?
message me something?
no, Ian.
me.
Oh, okay.
I'm probably not gonna love this. The camp is broken down, and Harlow, they are waiting. They all line up behind you, and the cart carrying your brother.
So it'd be myself pulling the cart.
No, there's a mule.
There's a mule. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have like the rope or the lead that's holding the mule then.
Yeah, there's definitely no way for anybody else to ride in the cart. It is
Okay.
hard to call for that.
So I'm pulling the cart in front. I feel like it would be then Scott and Bruce on maybe either side of me.
Fleet is kind of doing a super exaggerated march, almost like a baton twirler march, as they're walking back and forth from front of the line to back of the line of the Minotaurs.
Oh my god, are you using thaumaturgy to go left, left, left,
Yes.
right, left?
Yes.
While he's on the wrong foot.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you can use thaumaturgy to do that.
Oh, Rex, that whole image is so funny, infuriating to me at the same time.
I know. And I know why. Because it is to me too.
Here's my question: does he know his left and rights?
Yeah,
Like,
he does.
yeah.
Everyone knows their rights. Flames, as you do so, and start using thaumaturgy to make your voice boom across the hills and the sand dunes, Scott claps a hand over your mouth and says, "We move in silence, unless we want to attract tension of that which no one wants to see here."
Fleet kind of backsteps a little bit afterwards, does the zip mouth motion, but then continues the super exaggerated march. He doesn't do the really loud booming voice, but does the super exaggerated marching motion alongside the group.
Is he on the correct foot now?
Yes.
Oh, thank God. So again, Harlow gestured to Delta if they wanted to sit on his shoulders, but
Delta says absolutely yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Without
Delta-
question, Delta is getting up there. That's
Delta-
why I'm asking this question.
Okay, so Delta is on Harlow's shoulders. Bruce and Scott are walking side by side with you, essentially flanking the cart
Mhm.
as you lead the cart. Everyone else is in a line behind you. I need Flainth, Valen, who else?
Hell.
Flainth, Valen, and Pell. I think, yeah, that's it. Flainth, Valen, and Pell. We'll need to make perception checks, please.
Just who has
Wait, what about
Pell's
Bruce?
character?
Bruce is level with Harlow.
Oh, okay.
So
Who
Flainth
has
and
Pell's
Valen-
character sheet?
I do.
Okay, because I don't.
Fleet got 14 perception.
Okay. Hold on, I'm trying to get Roll20 to work for me on my phone.
Oh, what you just sent to me, that's freaking hilarious. Tradition is dead, it's just peer pressure.
Valen, what'd you get?
17.
Okay.
Flaint got a 14.
Fleet's got a 14, and Pell is going to have...
Oof.
a 10. Valen, you're the only one that sees it.
Of course I am.
And I'm gonna leave that to you. I'm gonna leave that up to you.
At this point, Valen is like very obviously like squinting at the bottom of Delta's back, trying to work out what he's seeing. And if he's seeing it right.
Okay.
Um,
No one else knows what's happening. With a 14 and a 10, you guys don't even see Valen making a weird face. So until Valen says something, that's it. So
He just
you guys, the troop begins to move in a long line. The
does Harlow
entire
need to do anything perception with smell or anything?
Oh,
you
no.
can't do anything. You're carrying Delta. You can do nothing. Sucks to be you. You're carrying her. Haha. The troop moves in a long line, winding through the broken hills in the general direction of the mother tree. As you are leading the troop, Harlow, I'd like you to roll a d20 for me to see how your trip goes for this first day.
15.
It goes pretty good. You hear and feel some rumbling in the ground, but it does not alarm you too much.
Harlow is like explaining to Delta the different sounds that they're hearing and talking about like what used to be in the fields over there and what kind of people lived in the valleys over there.
Well, those would be rumors that you would know because this happened ages ago.
Right.
So this is what you think.
Harlow just remembers this from the books and maps that he's read.
Yeah, well,
and like studied for fun.
It's less books and maps. It's more stories that have been passed on to generations verbally.
Mm-hmm.
Delta does love hot tea and gossip.
Harlow is telling them like word for word of these like children's books and stories.
Mm-hmm. So you do that, and you make pretty good time. You have no delays or increases in travel speed.
Mm-hmm.
You must camp for the night. It's going to be another about 3 days of travel.
And then, like, once they camp down and set up like a fire, Harlow is then explaining who Carlo was.
Okay.
To like Scott and like the rest of the group.
Sure. Would you like to do that? Do you have anything written out for that?
I sent it in the group chat in Nomi's.
Okay, wonderful.
And so, pretty much like, Ian, if you want me to read through that again, I can. But like, just briefly explain, just like, Carlo was my brother. Was like,
yeah. If since we're doing the recording, if you could read through that, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah. So I will read it word for word, except for the parts that I miswrote. Sorry, Kyle.
As you do that, read through that. I'll be right back. I have to move a Christmas tree, so read that out. I'll be back, and I'll tell you when I'm back. Just read through it.
So, Carlo is the oldest child of Cairo and Shala. Carlo was always a born athlete and warrior. Carlo had a drive that was unbreakable and feared by many. Carlo was quick to react and believed most situations would and could be solved by fighting and physical aggression. Even though Carlo was born into the clan of Guardians, Carlo believed that the power of the tree is harnessable, and the way to increase the population of the clan was to harness the magic and take it for himself. One night, Harlow spotted Carlo striking his axe, an axe gifted to him by the tree, into the base of the mother tree. Before Harlow could do anything, Carlo was interrupted by his father, Cairo. Carlo and his father began to engage in combat. Cairo, a once mighty defender who protected the tree from an army by himself, now much older in age, was being outdone by his own blood. Carlo struck down Cairo and stepped over his fallen father and went back to finish the tree. Cairo's last action was to jump in front of the axe before Carlo could swing into the tree a second time. There lay Cairo in between the tree and the mighty axe of Carlo. Carlo was then swarmed by guards and Harlow himself. Carlo was charged for the destruction of the Order of the Loxodons that the Order of the Loxodons swore to. Carlo was also charged with the death of his own father. Harlow now being placed in charge of seeing this through, he banished Carlo out of the protection of the Mother Tree and was told never to return to the shadows casted by the embrace and protection of the Mother Tree. So Harlow tries to explain that as like best and nicely as he can, leaving out a lot of like the gory stuff in like other not nice deeds that Carlo has done.
Delta like pats him on the back and is like, I'm really sorry that you had to go through all that. That must have been rough for you.
Carlo sits there and nods his head and goes, the hardest part was seeing the pain of my brother going through in that moment. When he had to leave.
I wonder what was causing him to want to swing at the tree, though. I mean, the Mother Tree is a great benefactor to everyone.
It is, yes. Cairo always thought that the tree is more of just a promised blessing and a spirit provider, which he thought he doesn't have to recognize as being thankful, like it was always going to provide for him.
Do you mean Cairo or Carlo?
Carlo, sorry.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
The angry one.
Mm-hmm.
The Angie boy.
That literally just stood there angrily and menacingly looking at us.
Harlow looks at Valen and goes, do you remember when you had the ring on your hand?
I do.
Do you remember walking up the tree?
Yes.
Do you remember the black space?
Now, Meg doesn't.
So, in the vision that you had when you were carrying Harlow's body, it went Cairo's like tusk and skull merged with the tree.
Oh, blank space.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
there was a blank space next to them that was like blacked out.
Ah, so both were right.
Yes. So that spot was Carlo's.
Oh.
And so Harlow is now sitting there going, now I have to decide to bring him back to the tree to see if he would be accepted or not. and I don't know what I would do if he's not accepted.
Well, Valen like takes a deep breath and like sits back, and he's like,
It's not
E-
going to be fun.
"No, but even if the Mother Tree doesn't accept him, if you want to, you know, honor him, the him that I don't know you used to know or whatever,
Harlow
then
nods and goes, I do know the hymn. And
we can give him."
Harlow goes, the problem is I can't start that hymn.
What?
The one who starts that hymn is the mother of the family.
Oh. Shit.
Mm-hmm. Harlow goes, as much as I would love to, it is a decision left up to Mother and Mother Tree.
But that my point still stands. I think that even if the Mother Tree doesn't accept him, and you still want to give him a nice send off, then we can do that for you. He
Harlow nods his head and just says, thank you. It really, really means a lot.
Point.
Yes, Point.
Personally, I don't know if it's a good idea, given his nature and given how dark and malicious his intentions were. How do we know that it won't further speed up the blight that is happening to the Mother Tree?
But wouldn't you agree that everyone deserves a second chance?
Look, we know he was, to put it nicely, a dick.
Harlow kind of chuckles and goes, yeah.
But obviously, Harlow knew him as something else. Otherwise, he wouldn't have reacted the way that he did when, it all happened. Obviously, like, if Harlow thinks that he is worthy of being, like, with the Mother Tree.
Harlow kind of sits there and goes, I think Bruce and his family are going to have an easier time walking into the shadows or walking back into the embrace than me bringing Carlo.
Probably. But you know, we're here with you.
Thank you.
We're kind of a, I guess,
You stuck
family
with
now.
me?
A dysfunctional, weird ass family.
And Harlow just joking, just kind of nods his head and like holds the ring that he has on his tusk and just turns it so him and Flank immediately switch spots. Just whoop. And Flank just falls to the seat.
Rex?
Oh no, did Rex not even hear that?
I don't know.
And he goes, haha, just joking. Runs back over and changes it again. And so they're back in the same spot.
All right.
Kyle, you still here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm just listening. I'm like, I don't have anything I can say more.
Rex is just muted.
Is he helping Ian with the Christmas tree?
Oh, he's reading to Charlotte.
Once upon a time, there was a knight named Flank.
A knight?
A horned knight named Flank. He was the horniest knight of all the knights because
Oh,
he
God.
had horns.
Ian's in a force.
And that makes it better.
He was trying to fit on his helmet, but it wouldn't fit. Why? Because he had horns. All the other knights didn't let him play the other knight games.
At this point, like, because the mood has, like, kind of lightened a little bit, Valen is like, I'd just like to ask you something, Delta. And Delta looks up like, This is so weird. I really wish that I wasn't the only one to get the perception check. And Valen's like, I noticed something on your back. And Delta's like, oh, my tattoo.
What?
Delta's like, yeah, I've got a tattoo on the bottom of my back. Like, at one point I was like missing some fur, so I thought I'd take the opportunity to get a tattoo there. You know, I always wondered what it was like, so.
Are you telling me that Delta has a tramp stamp?
Yes, that's absolutely what I'm telling you.
Cool. Here's my question. Is it above or below the tail?
It's above.
Okay.
Delta's like, yeah, here, I'll show you. And Delta, like, turns around and like lifts up her top, and you can just see under her fur a tattoo that says, "Women want me, dogs fear me."
That's gonna get a laugh out of everybody.
So it's like, how did you not notice it until now? I've had it this whole time, guys.
Oh no, haven't they really?
No, but like, obviously, game-wise, yes.
Just during the night, we just hear a tap.
Yeah, Delta's very flexible.
Is it written backwards though? If
No.
Dave did it, or did?
No, Delta didn't do it.
Okay.
Yeah, Delta says, yeah, I got it done when I was 18 during, like, it was like a layover between jobs. And an old smoker biker dude with, like, a split-dyed beard, did it. He did it behind a tavern.
You know, the classy way of doing it.
Exactly! Hollow, you know me so well.
Harlow goes, yes.
We now know you a little bit more.
I'm really honestly surprised that none of you noticed this sooner. Like, I've been having piggybacks on Harlow for, like, ever.
Harlow goes, I do give you a lot of piggybacks.
I mean, it's fine that Harlow hasn't noticed it, because obviously, like, he's not an owl.
But either way, if I was an owl, I still wouldn't be seeing it. I'd be looking at your belly.
That's true. Look, okay, I never.
Okay, that was the most Delta thing to say, though.
I never said I was good at anatomy.
Meg, you just had the most Delta statement, and I love it.
I'm channeling my inner Penny.
Well, if you were an owl.
I would like to think that after knowing Penny for like 12 years, I would have nailed her impression by now.
It was a spot-on statement.
Yeah.
Harlow looks at Bruce. Harlow looks at Bruce and goes, "Are you gonna get some tattoos?"
You didn't realize I already had some?
Bruce, you have tattoos? Delta's like, oh my god, show me.
It's just one giant sword.
Like, we know about Baron's
armor, but,
Say that again, Kyle.
that would require taking off all the armor, so
All of it.
Every arm, every limb has the same sword.
Delta's like, strip.
Harlow goes,
kids.
Just
Harlow
so you
goes,
know,
"Wait
full
for
plate
your
removal
roommate."
takes about 20 to 30 minutes.
Hmm?
Full plate removal takes about 20 to 30 minutes.
Well, Delta's trying to have Bruce strip right now.
I know. That's why. So it would take Bruce about 20 to 30 minutes.
And
She is
Ian,
joking, by the way.
you missed Meg stating the most Delta statement ever.
Mm-hmm. I will have to listen back for it because I had you guys on, but I was installing my Christmas tree.
Penny,
'Cause-
when you listen to this, I love you and I hope I did you justice.
Mm-hmm.
If Penny
Can't wait
and
for
Meg don't get inspiration for the next like 3 games, I'm right.
Oh, we'll see. I'll listen back for it and see what everything happened, and I will make a judgment upon that time frame. But moving forward, since sorry I was gone, but I'm back.
So yeah, I explained to them Carlo and the situation, and I said like Bruce and Scott might have an easier time of walking into the tree's shadows than Carlo returning.
Mm-hmm.
Valen brought up the wonderful idea of if the tree does not accept him, that you can do the ceremony here and start the chant. But unfortunately, Harlow can't because that's started by the mother of the family.
Mm-hmm.
And then Harlow reminded Valen of the vision he had of walking up the tree, and then remembering seeing the blank spot that was there, and detailing that was where Carlo was supposed to be placed.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we all heard about the tramp stamp.
Perfect. So we'll say all of that happened kind of that first day of travel into that first night of camp. So you all wake up in the morning and get on your way again. Again, it's about a 20-minute teardown of camp, and everyone's rocking and rolling. Bruce, roll me a d20, please.
Ooh, I gotta pick new spells now.
Yeah, make sure if you have spells, you can pick new spells if that is part of your class.
It's one of the things I don't miss about being a cleric.
Mm-hmm. Oh, are you there?
He said he's going to the bathroom.
Oh, thank you. I didn't hear that.
Yes, God, Ian, let him pee in peace.
Jeez.
I hope you're shitting yourself.
Back on this file.
Yeah.
That it doesn't smell good.
A little bit of inside baseball here, if I may. When I was making Flameth, I thought long and hard about being a wizard because wizards are truly the more powerful of the, in my opinion, the more powerful of the three spellcasting non-healing classes. But I really didn't want to deal with the whole spell preparations and dealing with what book or what spells were in my spell books and having multiple different spell books and keeping track of all that stuff. It's not worth it in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
So that's an 11.
11.
Oh,
Nice.
First day was easy. The next day, not so much. It is windy, blustery, and sand is in everyone's eyes for most of the day. Your time is delayed until you only make it about half as far as you hope. It adds another half day of travel to your total travel time.
I would like to perform again because obviously today was shitty, so I want to make everyone kind of happy.
Feel worse by playing Wonderwall? Got it.
Not Wonderwall.
Roll.
Anything but.
Did you even ask Scott what his favorite song is?
Yeah, that's kind of rude.
You didn't even ask if people have requests.
All right. Valen will ask Scott what his favorite song is.
It's Enter Sandman by Metallica.
Oh, fuck yeah.
You had the fucking chance to say heavy
Yeah,
metal
but-
Wonderwall.
I like Scott.
No, it's because Scott's a basic white boy and only likes Metallica.
Okay, ow.
I'm sorry. I have a thing against Metallica. My hometown rock station played Metallica every other song on the radio.
Yeah, I
every
can see
day.
how that would get annoying.
I hated it.
See, I'm going to be that guy. The only really Metallica song I like is...
Is Enter Sandman?
Yeah.
Roll me that performance check, Valen.
Sweet. 22.
Okay.
Also, I'm going to state something really quick. When I was really little, I thought the Enter Sandman song was the bum 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 bum.
Nice.
Sandman.
You still feel like there's something missing, though. It's
From my
good
guitar.
from your guitar. It seems to be missing more power.
Upgrades, people, upgrades.
It's really good. Like, it's a great performance and everyone loves it. But you, by yourself, just feel like it could have gone better.
Am I running out of battery? Is that what's happening?
Make a tinkering check for me.
You need more cowbell.
It needs more cowbell.
Everything needs more cowbell.
Ian, can you please attach a cowbell to her sword?
That's a 25.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, Meg. 25. There is definitely a way to add more power to your sword.
You should have become an artificer.
It's really easy, actually.
How? How, God? Tell
How?
me.
You guys have stopped and made camp for the day, and across the way you see Bruce's old mentor, the armor smith, the swordsmith, the blacksmith.
Sam Smith.
And you remember seeing that Sam Smith had not really a shield, but more of a buckler. Only about 6 or 7 inches across. Not something that you'd ever be able to use in combat, but your mind is pulling you towards it. Do you go over and talk to him?
Yeah.
He says, "Of course, yeah, I have a buckler. It's not really fitted for sorted for you. You couldn't even use it in combat. You have to use 2 hands on your greatsword. What do you need it for?"
Oh, hang on. Okay, confession time. I don't know what a buckler is.
Okay, a buckler is essentially it's a very small shield, about the size of like a dinner. It's like a large dinner plate.
Oh, okay.
Typically used with a long sword.
Did
And
you think like Captain America's sword?
Because his shield is the size of a dinner plate, and he is an idiot.
so it's the size of a dinner plate, and typically would be used with a dagger in that hand holding the buckler. So you can stab with it, you can punch with it. It's a weapon and a very small shield.
You know what? I just have a feeling I could use it.
Okay. 5 gold.
Sure. He will have
Meg,
it.
I just sent in the group chat of what it looked like.
All right.
Thanks,
I am
buddy.
seeing which group chat.
The adventures one.
Yes. Yeah, it really is the size of a dinner plate.
Yeah, it's very small. It almost pretty much looked like a piece of armor for you. You have that now. You're not quite sure what to do with it. You just know it'll come in useful. Maybe tomorrow you can figure that out. I will say with the 25, you know you need it. You do not know what materials you need to complete everything else.
I'm just gonna I don't know, keep it on my belt or something then for now.
Perfect. Yeah, keep it in your belt.
It's like a little symbol.
You all make camp. Watches are set by the Minotaurs around. That's something you guys need to take care of. Beautiful performance of Enter Sandman. And the night is yours. Anything else anybody wants to do this night? Or do we just jump back into travel?
I'm gonna pause real quick and get more water.
Water.
Because that's how I feel. Water.
Warder?
Ooh, actually, that's a good idea.
Water.
Drink break? I'm gonna go and get a drink too.
Sounds good. Flame this time, make the plants.
Yeah, when he's in the room. Yes.
Hello?
John.
John. Is anybody out there?
I think we lost him.
Yep, we're in silence
Hello.
now. Oh God. Welcome back.
Thank you. As the famous Brennan Lee Mulligan once said, it is important to have snacks.
You're goddamn right, it's important to have snacks.
And also hydrate yourself, bitch.
Mm-hmm. I will never have snacks during D&D.
Never?
Never. According to my wife, I chew very loudly, so I.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that, like, obviously I haven't heard you chew, so I
Okay.
wouldn't know. But, like, I can understand why.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Plus, like, with mics, it kind of amplifies everything. So it's, like, unwanted ASMR.
Unwanted ASMR. That's got to be a new thing.
What did you just say about Harlow and ASMR?
No.
I said I don't snack during D&D because I don't want anyone to have to hear me chew.
And I said it's like unwanted ASMR.
No. Did you just fart?
No, I came saying.
And there is the unwanted ASMR.
There's ASMR.
Listen, do you want to know something?
No.
There's a word that I can't say, but you can say it.
Don't
It
you?
starts with, it starts with U.
No! Marissa, don't. It's a trap.
And then W.
It's a trap.
John, if you see that last letter, I'm going to kill you.
I'm not that stupid. I'm not gonna say that.
Okay, goodbye.
Thank you, Marissa.
Marissa, I love you.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't know why that's a rule, but I also love it.
John, you're a menace.
Yes, you are a menace.
Oh, I am. But
Why
also,
it's a-
I really don't understand why it's a rule.
It's a rule because it annoys me.
Fair.
Don't piss off
I
the
feel like it's
DM.
gross.
That's like rule number 1.
It's like
So John overused it in the first 5 seconds of getting it.
Okay,
at work.
but it's also my job as Ian is my best man to annoy the shit out of him, is it not?
That is very true. Here's the thing, John. This is why, at work, I printed off pictures of famous actors and people and pasted them all over objects. Like, my microwave is Mike Myers.
Love it.
My walk-in is Christopher Walken.
Oh my
My
god.
So
walk-in,
good.
my walk-in freezer is Mr. Freeze. However, the only reason I did any of this is because our camp was built in like 1930s, right?
Wait,
So-
which version of Mr. Freeze?
Nothing's wrong with Mr. Freeze.
Huh?
I think he said what version?
Oh, what
Yeah.
version? Arnold Schwarzenegger, of course.
Perfect.
God
But-
damn it.
Our camp was built in the 1930s. So, our original walk-in is made of wood. And we use it for dry storage now. However, everyone before me has called it the punishment closet. Because it's dark and creepy. And I think that sounds gross and creepy sexual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I refuse to call it that, so I put a picture of Woody on it. So,
Gotta change it somehow.
gotta change it up.
I
No.
really hope that on your silverware drawer or wherever you keep your silverware, you put a picture of Forky from Toy Story.
That's a fantastic idea. That's genius. I'll have to do that.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, where did we leave off?
Let's get stuck back in. Bruce, you rolled in the no, it's the next day. Sorry. I need Meg. Roll me a D20.
Meg.
Me.
Megan.
It's me.
It's so
Hi.
weird hearing your full name. I was like, who's Megan?
It really
Is it-
is. 19.
19.
Has anyone ever called you Meggie?
What?
Maggie? What is
Did you
that?
say Meggie?
I've heard people say Meggie, like Maggie, and it
I
sounds
have
so-
had that. I've had Meggie, Megsy, Megs.
I like
Megs
Meg.
a million.
Megs. I might call you if you're okay with that, because I just
Yeah, that's
love
fine.
Meg.
Okay. With a 19, all of you die.
Oh,
Yes!
sweet. The sweet release of death.
Release of death. And
All
that's
right,
it.
I come back. My character's name is Ian,
Yep.
but it's pronounced Ian, and I'm
Oh.
just a beholder.
Don't you fucking dare. You bastard. With a 19, it's a easy day of travel. You actually make up that half day. You find you, Valen, are able to spot a couple easier paths that were unseen before, and you make up that half day of travel.
Excellent.
No problem.
Can I roll my tinkering check again to see if there's any-
Absolutely, you can roll your tinkering check again. The DC this time will be 25.
Okay.
Can I give her guidance?
Yes, you absolutely can give her guidance.
Harlow
you.
smacks you in the face.
Oh,
And Meg,
Meg.
and before you roll that, I will say, you can also give yourself bardic inspiration if you'd like.
oh,
But I am going to require you to tell me how you give yourself bardic inspiration.
Is there a way that
I
can...
am.
Sorry, go ahead.
I am going to hum to myself whilst I'm tinkering.
What are you humming to yourself?
And to Sandman because that's what was on my mind from like last night.
Okay. Yeah, hell yeah.
The correct answer was Wonderwall.
It's the correct answer is never Wonderwall, John.
The correct answer was actually, you're the best around.
No one's gonna ever keep you down.
Well, that's a 23. And then what was
D4.
A
Yeah,
D4.
D4. And then that's another 3.
For 26.
26.
You can roll your bardic just for fun, just to see.
Sure. Oh, I meant to have 3 because I've slept. 2. And then that's a D6.
Mm-hmm.
That's a D.
And another 2. So that's a 26.
8.
28.
Okay. Of course. What good is a guitar without an amplifier?
Amp. Of course.
So you'll need
You
to.
just say amp course.
No, I said an amp, of course.
Oh,
I also thought you said amp course, and I was going to give you that was good. But you will need to find a way to magically connect this buckler to your sword. With a 28, you're fairly certain you could do that with wire and some kind of spell, but you'll also need to power the buckler. You're fairly certain you can do that the exact same way. And you'll need to find a way to connect the buckler to the sword.
So wires I need.
Probably wires if you're going to physically do it. You could also do it magically.
Ooh, yes.
If you do it magically, would make it easier to wield your sword.
We do like magic.
if someone were to cast magic weapon on it,
No, that would not help, unfortunately.
Damn.
You'll need to find a way to connect these two things magically. Also, you'll know that once you do this, it basically no longer becomes a buckler and just it will have to be attached to your hip to work. You get no armor bonus from this of any kind. It's really just it's an amp, and it will potentially add more power to your attack when you use it as a guitar.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so happy with this weapon. Like, I can just imagine if we become like legendary adventurers and then like 1,000 years from now someone finds this fucking sick ass guitar sword.
It just winds up at a pawn shop.
I hope not.
Run by Delta.
Man, I know it's worth $5 million. The best I can do is 10.
They have like the guys from like.
And this is Pawn Stars.
Thank you. Oh, I don't know a lot about this. Let me call my buddy. And Delta just turns around with like a different pair of glasses on.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
100%. Yep. Next one.
That sounds extremely Delta.
Then Delta sees another customer, goes, "Hold on," puts on like a fake facial hair.
I love that we're assuming that Delta is going to outlive Valen.
Oh, 100%.
We all
My
know
life.
how Valen dies.
I
Man.
was just saying, Delta
What?
has 9 lives.
We all know how Valen dies.
Do we?
Yeah. It's overexposure to penetration.
Oh, fuck you.
It was an accidental pegging accident.
Yeah.
Oh, Ian's nipples.
It's you actually write the first line to it will become a fantastic song. 'Cause you're in too deep.
Right off.
Trying to keep.
I like that song as well, Ian.
Oh
I
God!
thought he was gonna say. I thought it was gonna be "Mama gonna knock you out." Huh.
No, it's definitely in too deep.
Fuck's sake, I like that song.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. You guys make camp again. Easy night. Do you perform anything, or do you try to work? I will let you work on your buckler a little bit.
Yes.
You can. I'll say you can gather the material. You probably have access to the materials. You remember how to make a battery, right?
I think.
I forgot to say this, but Harlow is probably praying over Carlo each night.
Okay. Sure, we can
fuck.
work on that.
I don't have my notebook with me.
That's totally fine. So, I'll take your last tinkering check. You know, you're going to need a lot more power for this because it's going to sound further. You're going to need probably twice or triple the battery power in order to create a battery. You need, in order to create one battery, you need 10 pieces of copper, 10 pieces of platinum. You'll need paper that is soaked in salt water and something to wrap those things in. I believe last time you actually used the leaves of the mother tree
Yes, you did.
to protect them, which added a little extra oomph to it.
So 10 pieces copper, 10 pieces platinum.
Mm-hmm. Water and salt,
Thank you.
paper, and then some protective covering for that.
Hey, Ian,
Yes.
I have one more question.
Yes.
Again, asking to use a couple spells differently.
Sure.
For each of those nights.
Yeah.
Sanctuary and protection from evil.
Mm-hmm.
So it's literally me just trying to guide Cairo's spirit back to the tree.
Okay. Carlos.
Arlo, thank you.
You're good.
No worries.
They all sound
I'm doing great. Ian, we should have picked different names.
Hey, you picked the goddamn names. I just said yes.
I know.
What does Sanctuary do again? Can you read that out for me?
So Sanctuary is what it says is you ward a creature within range against attack. Until the spell ends, any creature who targets the warded creature with an attack or harmful spell must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature chooses a new target or lose the attack spell.
Mm-hmm.
And then protection from evil and good is until the spell ends. One willing creature you touch is protected against certain types of creatures, aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead.
Okay.
I'm using the word, like the spell sanctuary, just as the word sanctuary and like performing like a ceremony.
No, I understand that. I understand that.
Since I don't have the spell ceremony.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I'll let you do that. What level spell is Sanctuary?
Both sanctuary and protection from evil and good are level spells.
Are level 1 spells?
Yes.
Okay. I will say that you have to. I mean, it's not going to matter because you're going to sleep, and again, you're in a massive camp of people who are protecting you at this time. But you're going to have to burn. You're going to burn all your spell slots to do that.
All spell slots?
All spell slots, because it's completely against what normally would be affected by the spell. Because they both are for creatures, and technically, Carlo is not a creature; he's an object.
That's fair.
So in order to twist that in a way, and you are being guided by the spirit of the mother tree and trying to influence her to help you, you burn those slots and everything else.
Yep, and then each morning does it reset?
Yes, essentially. So I mean, doesn't matter in the long run, but yeah, I will allow that. I think that is
okay.
It's a good story. It's a good story point. I like that. And we're in the last day. This is you can see the kind of shimmer of moisture in the air in the far distance. You know, late afternoon, early evening, you'll probably get to the mother tree.
So at this point,
Length, roll a d20 for me, if you can.
You said flanked.
Length, he's the last one to roll. Palandonto not here.
17.
17. Yeah, pretty easy day. It's not anything special. No extra time is made up, but nothing dangerous happens. You do hear some howls in the distance, and you hear significant sand movement, essentially. Just rumbling and creaking, and in the far distance you see large lumps of sand just move. But nothing that is dangerous towards you at this time.
Another sneak check?
Yeah.
Nice. I'm taking every opportunity that I got, baby. 22.
22. Do you have the components necessary to make the batteries at this time?
I thought you said that I was collecting them.
Yeah. But like in terms of inventory, do you have 30 pieces of copper, 30 platinum?
If you need gold, you can have my gold.
She needs platinum, not gold, unfortunately.
Well, I got none of that.
Well, I don't have platinum. Do we have any in the reserves?
And look and see. Should be in the. If you have it, it's in the bag of holding. It should be in the chat.
Flint is tending plants.
Flint is tending plants. Yes.
Otherwise, you could go convince Sam Smith to trade
Hmm.
the platinum I gave him for my double bladed sword.
Oh, we've definitely got.
Oh, I forgot you made that.
Oh my god, you have 1,040 platinum? Jesus fucking Christ.
We've definitely got platinum
Yeah, you got fucking platinum.
and gold, and I assume copper. Yeah, we've got copper
yeah,
too.
1,000 copper pieces in there.
So
Yeah,
we've
you-
pretty much got everything.
Mhm.
I don't know. We're running pretty low on platinum.
With a 22, you take some. It takes you the most of the day. You don't get any conversations with anything, but you get your batteries. You get the initial part of your batteries made.
Fuck
You
yeah.
do not seem to have the component necessary to cover them with anything at this time.
Mm.
You have the platinum, you have the paper, you have the salt, and you have a water pouch, but whatever that the essence of the tree of the mother tree, the leaves that you use to wrap it in, you don't have any more of those, and you're not quite sure what else you could use for that. With a 22, you know it's not probably something you can make. You'll have to find it.
Well, I could try asking her very nicely.
You could.
See where that gets me.
You'll remember that it was the mother tree in the swamp that provided those leaves to you, not the baobab in the book.
So as we're getting closer to the area,
Mhm.
Harlow is quickly reminding everybody of the rules, especially of like Bruce and Scott, because Bruce was not with us at the time we went back there.
Mm-hmm.
So Bruce is really telling this to the Minotaurs. Stay back until I call or I motion to you. When you get there in front of my mother, you must drop your weapons. If you agree or disagree with that, you need to listen to what I'm saying.
It might take Bruce a while to drop all his weapons.
And Harlow goes, yes, Bruce, all of your swords. Even the dagger that's in your boot that you think no one knows about. We all know about it.
It's actually a hand axe, so nice try.
And then Harlow goes, and your duck. Which I feel like he's been holding the whole time.
Delta's like,
to his side.
Delta kind of nudges Bruce and is like, I'll help you to hide them better next time.
I feel like Delta's like pulling them all out of the hiding spots. Like, oh, there's one here, there's one here, there's one here. But so like Harlow's again just giving those guidelines. I'm like, do we understand that guideline? Because if you're not welcomed in there with me, there's going to be an issue. And I know you know that. That was Harlow asking / telling Scott.
Oh, I thought you were talking to Bruce still. I'm sorry.
Talking to mostly all the Minotaurs.
Scott looks at you and nods. I'll follow your lead for now.
Harlow goes, thank you. And just continues to walk ahead and pull the wagon.
Okay. Moving into
wagons and carts, the same thing.
Wagons and carts?
Yeah.
Four wheels.
It's really about
Or has two?
size. It's about size and makeup of it. Really, a cart is more typically like a flatbed. A wagon has sides and a cover.
Okay.
Carts are small, wagons are big. Is a good way to think about it. Moving into the afternoon, you guys are just getting closer and closer. Harley, you begin to see signs of your tribe's essentially civilization. There's footprints that you recognize as belonging to Loxodons. There is there's a couple green plants out here. Slowly looks like they're maybe dying, but they're here. They're as you get closer and closer, there's more abundance of plants. Your approach is noticed, and armed
I think
guard.
Harlow, before he gets to there, he does the elephant's trumpet,
Okay.
which I don't have the voice to do right now, so I'm sorry.
Unfortunately, I'm not gonna lie, I have the perfect elephant trumpet.
Do it.
I can't because my kids are asleep and it's really fucking loud.
Howard.
Brew.
Flint, you're looking at plains. It's they're basic. It's essentially long grasses. It's nothing it's not really a plant that you would harvest and use. Essentially a long grass. Like a decorative grass that are pointless that everyone has in their garden for some reason. My God. Horrific. Moving on.
You're not wrong.
I am wrong. Yeah, you're right. I'm never wrong. Thanks.
Mm,
Reinforce my good feelings. Flint just takes some for his yard. Okay. Right.
wait for your castle.
For
So
your
every corner of the castle is now just has those
Covered-
stupid decorative grass.
I can
Yep.
just imagine Flint in one of those straw hats just outside doing some gardening.
Exactly
No.
what he looks like every time.
He gets the grass and grows it extra tall, so every time someone comes to the castle, he has to walk through it and go, "Well, howdy."
Oh my God. Okay.
Welcome to Jurassic.
Your trumpet is answered by another one, and the dust storm that you see of warriors heading out to meet you, because of course they recognize minotaurs from a distance. They can see the bundled up blood red tents that are being carried or carted towards them.
Harlow quickly draws the line in between himself and the rest
Mm-hmm.
because the Loxodons know, when the line is drawn by the leaders, not to.
John.
I guess Ian's mad at me.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs.
Quick, everyone, use your pass.
I mean, technically, it is still recording, so.
Shit, I can't use it then.
It's okay. Guys, chaos averted. The DM is back.
Kyle almost said it.
What happened? I
Kyle
went,
almost said it.
I went bye-bye. Where'd you lose me?
You died.
Kyle almost used his free pass.
Okay.
I don't know where we lost you.
I was saying that
You were saying the trumpets see the Minotaurs camp and everything.
you draw the line.
And so,
the line. It's very obvious that it's you, so they walk up much more slowly to
yes,
meet
but
you.
before they come up, Harlow draws with the glaive, draws that line in the
Mhm.
everyone to stay back.
You
Because
draw a literal line in the sand, yeah.
the Loxodons know the law of the line.
The law of the line. Yeah.
I don't know the other way to say it.
You're good. As they reach you, they recognize you again in person, of course. And your mother is at the front of this group. Shala looks at you and says, "Son, welcome home." Back sooner than expected. What are you doing with them?
Mother, this is not easy to say. Carlo has fallen.
With your natural perception, you see that Shala stiffens momentarily. With this, kind of eyes start to tear up just a little bit, but no tears fall, and her face completely becomes completely blank, and she says, "That is a name I do not know."
Mother, please don't do this.
She just stands there stoically.
I have him here.
She looks down at the cart with a body wrapped in blood red cloth.
And then Harlow
Her
has,
body, she has almost takes an involuntary step forward.
Harlow has druid crafted a flower on the cloth.
Mm-hmm.
And Harlow begins to unwrap Carlo.
Okay.
And Harlow explains what happened. Like, we were on our way back to home. We stumbled across some now allies who we are both working on forgiving the past and fixing things together.
As you say allies, her eyes look up and flash at Bruce and Scott together as they are at the head of the group. And she looks startled and confused. You said you're unwrapping Carlo?
Yes, I'm unwrapping just to show the face.
Okay. As you do so, it takes a while because his whole body is wrapped up in this like large length of cloth. So you have to uncover most of him to uncover his face.
Right.
As you do so, it's not well preserved, unfortunately. It is the high heat of the desert, and being wrapped in a cloth does not do wonders for a body. Your casting of Sanctuary and Protection from Good and Evil protected him from any kind of negative magical...
Again, more of protecting his spirit.
Yeah. It did not protect his physical form.
We don't have gentle repose.
We do not. Yeah, I checked for Pell. Unfortunately, he does not have gentle repose.
And I'm like, Mother, he doesn't have much time.
You look down at your brother one last time.
I know what has happened.
Make a perception check for me, Harlow.
Right. Well, rolled with advantage. Let me.
Yeah.
21.
Your brother's body is started to decay. It's not a I will say it's not a bad decay because it is so hot and dry here.
Mm-hmm.
There's no flies buzzing around his body or anything. However, his mouth and eyes are open. And And in both of them, you see flecks of black and green.
He was blighted. Harlow, Mother, I know what he has done. And I know what he has done to Father. I cannot forgive him for that. But he needs to be brought back to the mother tree. At least let her decide where to go, where to lead him. I know I'm not saying what he did was right in any way, but we both can see that the blight has got him. And got him in some way. We need to let Mother Tree decide.
Shala closes her eyes, and Flaynth speaks out from behind you, saying, all beings deserve the love of the mother. Shala, her eyes close, clenches them even tighter, and takes a deep breath. And turns with and motions to the crowd behind her to part, and an aisle splits down between them, leading into the camp.
Does she begin to chant?
She does begin to chant.
Once she begins to chant, Harlow then joins in.
The rest of you hear a kind of haunting melody being sung by Shala Harlow that is then taken up by the rest of the tribe.
I think we've done this before, Furzberg.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So again, the best way that I can describe like the music, similar music. If you've ever listened to like African like hymnal songs and African like or Sudanese singing, it's very similar along those lines.
Mm.
And honestly, it's really, really beautiful. If I can find a video of like Sudanese like singing and like it's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Flaynth, you do not understand the words. This language is lost and is not something you understand, but you understand the meaning behind it. The connection that it brings, pulling one's spirit back from whatever realm it has passed on to, and merging it one with the mother tree to strengthen her, to give her life, to bring your life, to fertilize her growth in the future, is essentially what this entire song is about. Shala leads you into camp, Harlow. And the rest of the tribe follows, chanting the song. The rest of the group follows behind the tribe with the Minotaurs. And night is falling. One of Shala's assistants lights the main campfire in front of her tent, where she continues to sing and begins dancing around this fire. tears are streaming down her face. And the raw emotion is cracking her voice, but she continues on. Until the last stanza, where she breaks down completely and looks up to you, Harlow.
Harlow, weeping, but still in that stoic pose that he always remembers of his father, of leading the tribe through good, bad, and hard times, trying to stand as tall as he did. But unlike his father in this moment, Harlow gathers his mother up and helps her up and continues the song and continues where she cannot.
Mm-hmm.
And in the best way that he can, trying to remember all the, not knowing all of them perfectly.
You stumble over some of the lines because this is your first time in a long time singing this song.
Oh my goodness. Can we read what Flame...
It's adorable.
Yes, very cute. I'll do it in a minute. But you finish the song. Shala stands up. Shala stands up, and the entire tribe is gathered around you all at Shala's campfire. The rest of you stand and watch as she puts both hands on each of your shoulders, looks you right in the eye and says, "My son, welcome home."
Mother, I've missed you.
She leans forward and taps her forehead against yours and steps back, releasing your shoulders, and cries out into the night, "My son is home. The chief is returned. Hail to the chief."
Harlow
and bows.
Harlow stops and going, "I've made it?"
You brought him home. What better journey could have been made?
And immediately, everybody can see this. Harlow, full tears of like pride and joy and hurt and just heartache. All these emotions are going across his face and his eyes, and he immediately drops to his knee in front of his mother.
You drop to your knees in front of your mother, you said?
I take like that like leadership knee and like bow back to my mother.
Mm-hmm. Your mother has completely dropped to the ground. She's on both knees and bows down to you completely. The rest of the tribe bows in their way and chants "Hail to the Chief" 3 times. Your mother looks up at you, again stands up, both hands on your shoulder, and taps your forehead with hers. Says, "Well done. But now we must heal her. I trust you have made your progress in that way as well."
Say that again. I'm sorry, you cut out.
Your mother taps your forehead with hers and says, "I trust that you have worked on that as well, healing the mother tree. At this point, Flainth pops up. I'm going to say a couple tears in his eyes. And says, if Mendy could fix a broken heart, I would cast it both on you.
Harlow just hugs him.
But yeah, and as you hug him, yes, we have also been working on the gear. As you squeeze all the air out of him, because you're a little bit stronger than he expected.
Yep, and then Harlow stops and goes, sorry. And then immediately Shala hugs him into a tighter hug.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe breaking a rib.
Maybe breaking a rib. Pretty close. Flainth is fragile. Flainth returns the hugs.
Sounds like, well, if we're doing hugs, and goes over and hugs Harlow.
Harlow returns the hug and reaches out to a handshake with Bruce and to Scott.
Yes. The full arm grasp.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And so Harlow then takes Carlo's body and looks at his mother. It's time. It's time to see if he is allowed to return home.
Son, we must wait. The mother cannot take him as she is now. She is hurt. She is broken. She must be healed.
Well, we need to
Mother,
kind of-
should we... I don't know the right word of because my brain said incinerate. That's not the right word.
Mm-hmm.
Cremate.
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to do?
What I was trying to say is because his body is fading and decaying, is that should we cremate and hold his body in an urn, his ashes in an urn?
Okay. Yeah, you she looks at you. She looks at you and says and sees, or she goes up and looks at Carlo in more detail. She sees that the heat is affecting his physical form. His spirit has been called back in whatever way that you all know how, but his physical form is decaying. And she calls forward and one of the members of your tribe, who typically leads worship of the mother tree, and he casts gentle repose on.
Oh God, there was at one point where you and I named all of the people of that tribe.
Did we? I don't remember that.
It was like in the first session.
Oh God, that's so long ago. That's over a year ago. I can't remember that shit at all.
That's cool.
I gotta write shit down.
It was a clan of 24 people.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm. So, he cannot become undead, and for 10 days he is protected from decay.
Harlow looks at the religious leader and just goes, "Thank you, my friend. I cannot repay you."
He laughs a little bit and bows down. The chief does not need to pay.
Harlow still doesn't know how to process this word and proceeds to try to bow lower. As he still it's just like, what?
He walks over and picks you up.
And I feel like we both kind of chuckle and it's just a hug.
Yeah.
And then immediately I go back to my mother and hug her. And then I go, is Puddles still here?
She looks at you.
Because we did say for Puddles the third to stay here with them.
She looks at you again, and with your 22 natural perception, there is some pain in her eyes.
Oh no.
She says, "Come with me." And turns and walks into her tent.
Is it just myself and her? Or is it everybody? Like in the
Your whole group can follow.
Okay.
She's not said that you can should not follow her.
Okie dokie.
Do you all follow?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Flint is playing outside the tent checking for magics. There is no magics, any kind of negative magics that you would be able to sense. Nothing bad going on.
No bad juju.
No bad juju, besides the significant amount of blight that is currently affecting the mother tree. And Flint keeps watch. You go inside the tent, and you see what caused the pain in your mother's eyes. This is not Puddle the Third. Apparently his name is now Pudley. And he's a nightmare.
What?
And you see laying on the floor, drunk as a skunk, passed out with several bottles of alcohol, in a very nice robe that you recognize as one of yours from growing up, one of yours from childhood, is Puddle the Third, snoring on your mother's rug.
Did Ed hit him a bit too hard?
Yeah.
Ed killed him. You guys killed him.
And brought him back.
Yes, and brought him back.
Well, did we bring him back though? Did we? Did we really?
Yes. Because
Mhm.
Harlow cure wounds.
No, I mean, is it him? Like, personality-wise.
Harlow goes, everybody stand back, cover your ears. And Harlow thunderclaps.
Okay.
Right next to Puddle's ear.
Okay.
Constitution saving throw or 1d6 thunder damage.
Roll your damage.
It's a Constitution save.
Yeah, I'm rolling a con save. What's your spell save DC?
16.
Okay. Roll your damage.
4.
Oh my god.
Did I drop him?
Almost. He's an NPC. They have 5 hit points.
Do
John?
all NPCs have 5?
Essentially, yes.
He's still alive.
That is a baseline for NPCs. Like,
So, yeah.
don't
Fine. He's
Harlow
fine.
thunderclap.
you thunderclap next to him. His eardrums pop, and his eyes immediately begin to just bleed.
So, Harlow
All the
picks him
veins
up.
in his eyes pop, and he is crying blood right now.
Harlow picks him up by the back of the robe. Okay. Does lay on hands for those 4 points.
Mm-hmm.
So he can hear me.
Technically, yes.
And goes, explain yourself now.
What do you mean? Ow! And he throws up on your feet.
Ew.
Harlow does not budge.
Very hungover. Very drunk. And now... Flame backs out of the tub. And now has been very disoriented by the concussion you just gave him.
No, I cure wounds.
Cure wounds.
Or no,
Cures
I did lay
wounds.
on hands.
Lay on
So he's
hands.
back to his full health.
He's back to full health. Still has a goddamn concussion.
I'll do
Since-
lay on hands one more to fix his concussion.
Yeah, it does not how that works.
Since Valen is used to dealing with a certain drunk person,
Mhm.
he's like, hang on, just give me a second. Maybe I can talk some sense.
Harlow then flips him over so he's hanging by his foot.
Well, okay.
Okay. He starts weeping. Polo the Third is literally weeping.
Oh God.
This is going well.
Why are you drunk in my mother's house?
Because she gave me some booze, and I was thirsty. But it was too much.
Is this what I asked you to do when I gave you directions to look over my mother?
I think so.
My directions were for
Buddy.
you to get drunk.
Everyone drinks sometimes, man.
Yeah,
I
but
know.
not that much.
Unless it's Bruce on wine.
So You-
She left, and I didn't know when she was coming back, so I thought I'd have a little fun.
Enough.
Oh shit, we gave him separation anxiety.
I'm giving you this choice now. You're done drinking, or you are gone.
That's fair. What I would have
And
said.
if you decide to stay and I catch you with a sip on your lip, you will be in the ground.
He looks up at you with bright hope shining in his eyes. Shala leans in and says, I have not seen that look on his face in, well, ever. You're holding. Are you holding him?
He is. I'm holding him upside down by one leg,
Okay.
and I turn him to Shala and I say, "Apologize now."
Okay, let me see. Okay. Make a dex save for me. With disadvantage.
Son of a
Damn.
9.
You rolled a 10.
You're shitting me.
I'm not. I'll give him a +2 to dex. And he rolled an 8.
You fucker.
That's so fucking funny. He looks at you with bright hope in his eyes. And as you turn him to Shala and say apologize, he flips up, kisses you full in the mouth, and says, I get to leave? Grabs a bag and bolts through the door.
Wait, what?
And I go, Flank, catch him.
Flames can make a dex check. As you'll remember, you did not ask him if you wanted to go stay with your family. You commanded him and ordered him to do so against his will.
Oh shit, I did.
So, what? What's
Dirty 20.
Flank's got a 20.
He's got a dirty 20? Okay. I'm going to give him a dex check. I'm going to give him a dex save.
Please get a 1.
Flame does grab him. He got a 15.
Close,
I
but
feel like Flank comes back like a proud cat catching prey.
It's a Puddle the Third is not in his mouth. He does have Puddle the Third by the scruff of his neck.
if it was Delta, he
What am I
would be.
What am I doing, Harlow?
Harlow looks at Shala and goes, Mother, what would you like done with him?
Well, since he was not here of his own free will, as everyone else here is, let him go. Let him be free. Let him do what he wishes. He was not happy here. He made no one happy while he was here.
So let me get this straight.
Let my people go.
Jesus Christ. All Harlow tried to do was give Shala a pet.
So let me get this straight. We beat him up with a frying pan.
No. He
You
tried
did
to
not
jump
him.
us, and
No, he
Ed
didn't.
saw
No.
it,
Okay,
and Ed got a better jump on him.
John, pause, stop, full recap time. What happened was, Ed saw him, because I believe this was time when Billy was not able to play anymore.
Yes, this is one of the times me
Oh.
playing Ed.
You saw him hiding, thought, oh, maybe he's going to try and kill us. He's a lone dwarf all by himself in the middle of fucking nowhere. Let me go hit him in the head with a frying pan. He's not done anything to me yet.
He was trying to jump us.
He was a crazy old hermit who had never hurt anybody, who wanted somebody to pay a troll toll. Give me a gold and I'll let you cross my bridge. However, none of that fucking happened because you killed him. I
hear wound him.
He wasn't doing anything. He was just an old hermit who wanted a gold.
Yeah, so I'm right. We did just beat him up with a frying pan for no reason.
And
no, it was not just for no reason. He was going to steal money.
Yeah, which Harlow doesn't care about, and then you kidnapped him.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
More and more, I'm starting to believe that maybe we're the bad guys.
To be fair, I forgot I cast command, and I thought it was more of he wanted to live his life there. It was more of me asking him.
Yeah, Flames used suggestion on him to go to camp to live a better life, and
Yeah.
on him. So Flames lets him go, and he absolutely books it out of camp, dancing happily.
Harlow looks at Delta and goes, "If you want something to play with," and just points out the door.
What about the door?
Flame says no.
Bruce,
Flame
do
says
you want to go
that's
chase
perfect.
somebody?
No, Bruce is too lazy for that.
They have a sword.
No, he doesn't.
You just immediately you see this Minotaur dash.
I was say, you don't think Bruce would have scouted that out already?
Exactly.
Bruce can smell the sword from a mile away.
Your mother turns to you and says, "Thank you for letting him go home. You should never have been here in the first place. Let that be your first lesson as chief."
I'm
Are
going
you
to
all
learn.
Are you all staying here?
If we can. At least for a night or two.
Let us make room.
Flanth is
Walks out of
immediately
the-
back under the table.
She walks out and begins speaking to some of the other members of the camp, and a couple new tents are set up for you all. So all of you have tents that you can sleep in, and Harlow, you have the chief's tent. It is the largest. There is a table with 4 chairs. There is a large bed. There is a stand for your armor and rack for your weapons. There is a couple other minor luxuries that most of the other tents don't have.
And we did talk about with Harlow's armor, because I got that natural 20 once, it pops on like Iron Man armor.
No, you said you wanted that, and I said no.
But then I rolled the natural 20, and you were like, "Fine for this time."
Yeah, for that one time. That one instant. But again, it is plate armor. It does take 20 minutes to take on and off, and you can't sleep in plate armor without.
God, don't eat the napkins again. No.
But they're delicious.
Shala just made that new one. She just made the new napkin holder.
No.
No.
Shala goes back into the tent and just sees him munching.
Charlotte is not in Charlotte's tent. He's in his own tent.
Good.
You each have your own tent, or you can share a couple tents if you wish.
Is there like a little campfire?
Yeah, they're all around the same campfire.
Fuck yeah.
I go to Flank's tent and I go, "Come on, I have a bigger table you can sleep underneath."
Valen is gonna sit out by the campfire for a bit and do a little bit more tinkering.
Okay.
And play his guitar a bit.
Okay. Make a tinkering check and then just a light performance check for me.
Oof, oof, oof. That's a 14.
For the tinkering?
Yeah.
Okay. You have your batteries. You know that you can there's probably some kind of spell out there or some kind of enchantment that you can pay for that will connect them, but you're not quite sure what it would be or how much it would cost. But yeah, really no progress made at this point in time.
Okay.
Harlow takes some of
You may need to hold on, John, 1 sec. You may need to ask the mother tree for assistance in that. They have deeper knowledge than you do in arcane matters, so they may be of some assistance in that.
I think I will ask her tomorrow. For the time being, though.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Wonderwall.
No.
And what's your performance check, Meg?
24.
24.
And actually, it is Shrike by Hosier. It's the nice one.
It's in the same category, though.
As you begin to strum and sing, the song flows from you beautifully. A small crowd gathers. And unbeknownst to you, but for the first time in centuries, Loxodons and Minotaurs, besides Harlow and Bruce, are standing together in harmony, listening to your music. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
So nice.
Meg, I was really hoping you were going to say like the song you were playing was like Parting Glass.
And Flames, I see your
Oh.
message. We'll get into that in our next session because that's starting to get into the deep lore kind of stuff and like the big stuff for next. That's going to start happening next.
You
That-
owe Scala a new napkin holder.
Well,
You
he
need
can
to
play.
use the napkins, not the holder.
Hey, he can play Parting Glass too. They've got similar vibes.
I'll send you my favorite version of it because it's by Heuser.
Hosier.
Thank you. I always say it wrong.
Yeah. Who's ya?
Who's ya?
Who's ya?
Who's at the door?
Don't fucking make fun of my accent, Ian.